Hey everyone. Well, the new Need for Speed just can't seem to get ahead of the leaks. This morning, Amazon dropped their store page for Need for Speed Unbound a few hours early, and so instead of waiting until 8 a.m. Pacific, EA just said screw it and dropped the trailer about an hour and a half early, and then their own webpage went live shortly after. But with that said, wow, we got a ton of info on Need for Speed Unbound. As it turns out, the early leaks were pretty spot on. The game takes place in a location called Lakeshore, a spin on Chicago. A few people were seeing some Detroit and New York City influence, and I see that as well. But there's a few big standouts to me. For one, this building to me is clearly the Crane Communications building in Chicago, a pretty iconic part of their skyline. And Lakeshore would make sense with Chicago being on Lake Michigan. The river that runs through the city also lines up pretty directly with the actual Chicago river canals. We also heard in the leaks that the game would have a bit of an anime style to it, and well, they weren't wrong. There is some very clear, unique stylistic choices taken here for Unbound, and honestly, I just can't decide if I like it yet or not. I think in order to really make a decision, I might just have to experience the gameplay for myself to see how it feels in play. Right now, it seems to clash a bit too much to me. We've got the more realistic cars and world and lighting, but then the kind of out of place animated characters and special effects around the cars. Whether or not you like it, it's clearly a mix of two different styles, and I personally just don't know how well they'll be able to pull it off. Either way though, it's really nice to see racing games taking these big risks with their stylistic choices, and I think Need for Speed is the perfect franchise to do that with. That aside, like I said, we got tons of info about Unbound in this reveal. We have a full car list of 143 cars. A good handful more than Heat had, and there are definitely a few standouts. The seemingly cover car here being one of them, the Mercedes 190E. And not just any 190, this is a stylized version of A$AP Rocky's actual car. So I'm definitely glad to see they're continuing to expand on the car list. Well over 100 cars means that just about anyone will be able to find a good number of things to enjoy. Unless you're a Toyota fan. Yes, yet again, Toyota will be sitting this one out. Absolutely heartbreaking for me as a Toyota owner. I love driving my own car in racing games, and Toyota just has some of the most iconic tuner cars out there. So it sucks to see, but at least the list is still growing. We also got a full map reveal for Lakeshore, and there's a lot here to love, and some things I'm not too excited about. For starters, I was definitely expecting a bit of a bigger city, considering just how big Chicago's real downtown is. But it looks like the downtown area is not really that much bigger than Heat's. To be honest, the whole map seems about the same size, if not just a bit more dense than Heat's map. For the positives though, the map looks really nicely detailed. Unbound is going to release for PC and next-gen consoles only, so they'll really be able to crank up the details in the world, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. We also know that there's going to be a test track in the map, which I love to see. I think it's this portion of the map right here. This is kind of a good sign to me that Criterion may be focusing on improving the handling. Aside from that, in the map, there are also some awesome looking mountain pass or toge style roads on the left side here. So if the handling is fun, these are going to be some really enjoyable spots. We've also seen from a couple of screenshots and clips in the trailer that there are drawbridges that run across the canals in the city, and I really hope these go up and down in real time. I think it would be so sick to see these bridges go from straight roads that you can drive right across into big jumps in the middle of a race. I think it could also help the city feel more alive if the bridges go up and down to let boats pass and you have to adapt your route to adjust for that. Some more details we got from this map reveal are that there are multiple safe houses throughout the world. Think Most Wanted style. Heat gave us really only one main garage with a temporary second one for the story, but Unbound, it seems, will let us use unique safe houses all over the map, which is a great improvement. It also leads to the thought that cop mechanics may be different or improved from Heat. I, for one, loved the way they balanced night and day in Heat, but the police AI themselves were a bit rough. In Unbound, we may go back to a natural day-night cycle, but honestly, I hope they keep the Heat day-night method and instead just work on improving the AI for the police. They do say on the website that there are new escape mechanics to take control of the chase. Could this mean pursuit breakers are coming back? One can only hope. Alright, now let's go back and look at some of the other little bits of info we can see on the site. And first, it looks to be confirmed that those anime-style car effects for nitrous and jumps and tire smoke and all that will be customizable, as said in these posts here. You can even see in some of the trailer footage that there are different colors for tire smoke and just normal, realistic tire smoke. This implies that maybe we'll start out in Unbound without any special animated effects, and then unlock them later. I think this is a great way to manage the unique style and let players choose whether or not they want to keep things a bit more realistic. As for the rest of the car customization, it seems to me like a lot of Heat's customization will carry over, which was awesome, but we'll also be getting some new goodies as well. I'm thinking we're just kind of getting Heat customization 2.0 because, well, the engine still looks like Frostbite, and the car and world rendering looks pretty much the same, just improved. I was honestly kind of hoping that with the axing of Ghost Games and return to Criterion, we might be getting a new engine, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I honestly just don't think Frostbite is good for racing games. Ghost never really got the hang of it, but who knows? Maybe Criterion can work some magic. And again, like I said earlier, being next gen only means they should be able to push the visuals a bit harder. In the blog post on the site, we also got some info on the story premise, which on its own doesn't intrigue me more than anything else, but I actually kind of enjoyed Heat's story, so I hope they can continue to improve on that. It does look like A$AP Rocky will be a major character in the story though, potentially a rival of sorts for us. We also know that Criterion is planning to support the game post-launch. Heat sort of got this, and then unfortunately EA killed them, so we never saw what the post-game potential would be. But the industry is obviously moving towards games as a service and lots of post-launch support, and I think that can be done well, as long as excessive monetization is kept out of the picture. But who knows? Especially with the game having a heavy feature on character customization with real clothing brands and these animated car effects, I just see a strong battle pass or microtransaction model creeping its way in. That said, finally we are getting a December 2nd release date. Unbound is coming in hot, so we don't have a long time to wait, and in the meantime, we know they will be dropping some more info on the game on their website. I'm really hoping to see more gameplay, as we only really saw a tiny sliver of it during this trailer, and I want to see how those two art styles work together in the menus and the UI and just in the organic open world driving. So that's going to do it for this quick little reaction and overview of sorts for Need for Speed Unbound. Thanks for watching this video. I will be covering Unbound on its release, so stay tuned and let me know what you think about this reveal in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you all think. I think this is shaping up to be a really polarizing title so far, but you need to take risks sometimes, and I hope that for Unbound, it pays off.